Two guys, one sofa.
Yeah. Okay, let's move then to the actors then. Cover the plot. So actors. Affleck is Batman. Enjoyed or didn't enjoy?
No, I didn't enjoy him. We praised him after Batman Superman.
That's what I thought. I enjoyed him more in Batman Superman than what I did in this one.
Like he couldn't have given less of a shit in this.
Surprised he didn't just sit down in every scene.
Yeah,
like
it reminded me of Bill Murray in the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it just seemed a bit hollow. Like,
it was just going through the motions. I mean, there's the famous sort of internet clip of him looking dejected.
That was his face through the whole thing.
Yeah, and it looks like I don't think he shrugged that off. I think
he's still hurting.
Yeah, he realises that this isn't going to get better for him.
Every time he sees Gal Gadot in a scene, he's constantly reminded that her film is better than anything that he could hope for. And it crushes him every time.
Yeah, it's another failure in the world of Ben Affleck.
Okay, speaking of old Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, didn't enjoy this?
She was fine. I think she was marginalised a little bit.
Yeah, I felt they needed
I mean, obviously this film's been in production and been made quite a while ago. I think if they'd been longer in between Wonder Woman...
Yeah, if they had started production after the success of Wonder Woman...
she'd have had a bigger role.
Yeah.
But she felt very much like...
underused.
background character, yeah.
Yeah.
She was marginalised.
That brings us to the other two that I thought should have been marginalised more and then brought to the front in their own films before you bring them back. And Flash and Cyborg. And let's say Flash fell flat as the comic relief a lot of the time.
Yeah, it didn't work for me.
He did have his moments as a character. Like, he was the most generally likeable character in that cast.
Yeah, in terms of a character, he was likeable. He was...
Every scene went on too long, though.
Yeah.
Like, he delivered a funny line, end the scene. Instead,
again,
you got
the Ghostbusters factor.
Yeah,
just
and
keep
then
talking,
you
keep talking,
and he said like 2 or 3 lines, and again, I think at one point I even said it. I was just like, "Stop talking, stop talking."
Nothing was allowed to breathe.
Cyborg.
He was very forgettable.
Yeah, there was nothing like he had daddy issues.
A forgettable actor and a forgettable character.
Yeah, there was just nothing to him, and he never
found out that I think he
was an alright actor
in a explosion.
Yeah, the explosion that should have killed him, but then the dad
somehow resurrected.
But even then, they had this kind of, look, in the montage at the end, you just see a clip of them with Lois Lane narrating, and they're laughing together. But you never even got that, son, I'm so sorry. And it's like, Dad, I understand. I have a purpose now because you've made me this hero kind of thing. You never had that moment. So you could, he was a fine actor, don't get me wrong. He did the role, I mean...
generic.
Yeah, but the character was a bit 2D. He was a bit, wooden.
Nothing to do.
Aquaman. Right, Aquaman.
Fucking irritating.
No point to him being... I'll go back to it. There's no point to him being in this film.
No, and as I say, I don't... We may be completely misunderstanding the character and what he's like in the comic book world, but he felt badly out of place. Just generally, I didn't understand the character.
No, he's just kind of there, which... That's all you can say about him. He was the butt of jokes.
Yeah.
Which Family Guy did about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Screw him.
The main baddie was just shit. Generally shit. A fucking awful...
Yeah, no depth to the bad guy.
No. Like you say, if you're going to go in because you've skipped all the build-up, you need to go in with the biggest threat possible that unites these people together. Which needs to be Darkseid. It needs to be the pinnacle.
Yeah, go in.
You can't have his side monkey that, comic book fans, if you're into it, probably have heard of him. But even then, you've got to be
Steppenwolf. I'm sure there's a band called Steppenwolf.
Probably. Didn't they win Eurovision? Was that
possibly?
So there was that. Lois Lane was hardly in it, so you can't really comment. Same with the Amazon people. Amber Heard did all right, considering
Nothing to do.
nothing to do, but
What's the guy's name who played Jim Gordon? Juno's dad.
J.K. Simmons. Yeah, J.K. Simmons.
Was it J.K. Simmons?
Yeah, it's J.K. Simmons.
Okay, yeah.
I like him. I like J.K. Simmons, and he had the feel of Commissioner Gordon about him. He's because this is set as an elderly Batman kind of thing, and Jim Gordon was always older than Batman, so I get that. But he got the impression that he's jaded by it at this point. Yeah. And that works for that character because Jim Gordon, in my eyes, was always that character.
Yeah.
Just like, so you broke another $1 million worth of shit again, I see, and he's just like, yep, haven't lost your touch.
He was fine.
Yeah, I would actually, like you say, hopefully Joss Whedon does his Batgirl film and he'll be a big part in it because
fingers crossed.
I think Joss Whedon would write him well. That's the cast, I think. No one else. There was a Green Lantern at one point. There was
he got a
points.
cameo in the
Big CGI battle scene. Yeah, dead alien.
Again, that was
just to establish that the Green Lanterns are a thing and we can
Yeah.
put them in if we so help.
I think we are getting a Green Lantern film.
Without question. So yeah, okay, cast done. Moving on then, the directors.
Oh.
I will stick up the Zack here, as people know probably by now that I think Zack Snyder is a. I don't
Stick
like
up
him.
for Zack, you say?
Yeah, so I'm going to stick up for him on the basis that this film felt disjointed because obviously there were two directors, and this is going to be a big criticism of it because it does show.
Oh yeah.
He left halfway through under horrible circumstances. We get that, and then they brought in Joss Whedon, and this is not so much a slight on the director. I'm now going to slag off fucking Warner Brothers here. If you are going to lose a director that is very stylistic in his
very much
approach,
his own style, his own
awful style.
Yeah.
You need to bring in somebody as close to that as fucking possible, so it doesn't seem disjointed. To bring in Joss Whedon, who I love Joss Whedon, I think he's fantastic.
Yeah,
What he's done, he's got a track record. He is the polar opposite of Zack Snyder. So of course you're going to get like this uneven, like you say, some of the things like you say, you're in this dreaded scene, all of a sudden somebody will make a joke. You could tell which that was like action scene was done by Zack, line was done, close up was done by Josh. That it just seemed. It was uneven, but that's the studio's fault for not getting someone.
It didn't feel seamless like a movie should. It was so sort of spiky, jarring, jumpy. It felt like a complete mess.
Yeah, and I can't put that down to. Normally, you can put that down to Zack Snyder because he's fucking shit. The guy can't write a narrative to save his life. This is still the case in this film.
His scenes stuck out. It's
for being dumb.
All of the awful slow-mo which he's just obsessed with.
There's a time and a place where the slow motion works, and that is when the Flash is doing his thing. Because then you have to slow it down to obviously show him what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right idea. Sadly, X-Men beat you to it.
Yes.
With that, the speed to Quicksilver, was it? When they did it to Annie Lennox. And he's
they did it in the Avengers film as well with the Quicksilver character.
So that's what you need to. That's what it's there for. That's where you do it. You don't do it within 30 seconds of introducing Batman to show him slow motion backflipping.
Yeah, and we got slow motion Wonder Woman in her bank scene.
No point. Save the point of slow motion and something standing out as a scene. It's meant to, like I say, make that impact when you see it.
Like take the Wonder Woman solo film. When the Germans first fire the gun at her, and she watches the bullet go past in slow motion. Fine, because this is the first time she's seen this, and there's an impact to it, and then it speeds up. The bullet hits
the person behind. And
she's, oh my god, what is this?
Yeah.
But then from then on, every time she jumps,
slow
mo, and then speed up to normal speed. She's going to jump at another point.
Again, like you say, when she climbs out the trenches, that first shot, bing, looks down at it, and it's like, that's a badass scene, by the way. That's one of my favourite superhero scenes probably ever. I like it. I really fucking like that. I actually got hairs on the back of my neck standing up because, the cloak drapes off, and it's just so perfectly
It's
fucking
heroic.
shot. It's heroic, and in the most well, it was an heroic situation, World War One, but you know, it's the most
Yeah.
bleakest of situations. They've
Yeah.
still somehow managed to turn it around as this kind of ray of fucking light.
Yes.
Like there's this heroic moment. There's a person standing up, but if you overdo it, you just bash people over the head with it. It doesn't make the impact. So, like, it needed to be the Flash, but instead, like you say, you treated to it every fucking 40 seconds in an action scene, and it's
just constant, and it's distracting.
yeah. So there's that. It's poorly written. Like, I can't say in any other way. The big box that they're trying to protect,
Yeah.
which is the whole point of this.
At one point, they just walk
They
off.
just fucking leave it.
They forget all about it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, Superman's back, it's safe. Yeah, everyone's safe now. But then forget the thing that they were meant to be protected. And you don't even see the villain, like, nick it. You just see this portal come down and him fly off in it. You're just like, oh, yeah, the box.
It's actually funny. The characters actually just turn around and just watch him go up and just, oh, shit, yeah.
Shit, yeah, the box. Like, that's
don't know,
fucking awful screenwriting.
I found that funny.
But you're not meant to find that funny. You're meant to go, oh, no, he's got the box. Like, you can't, like...
A little bit lighter colour-wise.
Yeah.
They brightened it up a little bit. Wonder Woman's costume was just got that little bit more colour to it. Superman, definitely.
Yeah, it was
Flash,
a
it's
lighter
like
blue.
a vibrant red.
Yeah, there was lightning things as well.
Yeah.
Cyborg had his bright red kind of glow thing
Yeah,
going
so that
on.
was a bit of an improvement.
Aquaman was very nondescript in the way he looked.
Bland. Yeah.
He was just a tattooed dude, bro.
Yeah, it just summed up the character, just bland.
Yeah.
He looked like a sort of mid-90s wrestler.
He did. He looked like he could be either like Mosh or Thrash's cousin.
Yeah, like a fucking Midian.
Yeah. So, okay. So, like I said, I don't think Whedon did too bad. You could tell his moments, but it just didn't fit together.
Yeah, if he'd done the whole thing...
You would have had a Joss Whedon film if it had
It
been
would have
all
been
Zack
great.
Snyder. It would have been an all Zack Snyder film. Like, it wouldn't have been as jolty.
Yeah.
It would have been probably 10 times fucking worse because there would have been no joy or...
Oh, yeah, it would have been just another miserable nightmare.
Oh, so miserable. And I'd say, like, everything... But he's got his style. I get that. But his style, I just... Only fanboys seem to like Zack Snyder's style. Like... I can't... Like, the guy's shit at what he does. I don't understand... Like, everyone points to Watchmen.
Didn't enjoy it.
It was over-bloated, obnoxious, and slow.
It was very boring.
And they're like, well, Alan Moore wrote it, and Alan Moore said nobody would ever make this into a film and make it a success. Alan Moore's one of the fucking biggest overrated, miserable bastards going in the fucking comic book graphic novel world. So, fanboys of Alan Moore, like fanboys of Zack Snyder, won't have a bad word said about him. It's fashionable, I've been told,
Ah, that's the
to rip on Zack.
that's one of my biggest frustrations is people who assume that you're criticising because everyone else is criticising.
You ever thought that people are just criticising because it's so obvious?
Yeah.
It's so shit what he's doing. There's so many
It's the
fucking
same
flaws.
sort of people that'll say, well, why would it just let people enjoy it? And it's like, me not liking this film doesn't impact on anyone else enjoying it. If you want to go out and enjoy this film, fine, do it. Couldn't give less of a shit. There is that.
Just keep on sucking at the teat of mediocrity. Just fuck off.
So where does DC go from here? Because this, we've
I
had
don't even
Batman
know.
v Superman, the
Yeah.
big dream fight supposedly.
Yeah, that never happened.
It took an hour and a half of the film for a 5-minute scene.
Martha! Why did you say fucking horrible? Oh my god, they came back to that in this film as
That
well.
made me laugh. Again.
I don't know if that was meant. I think that was a Joss Whedon.
I think that was
Joss Whedon put that
I
in
think
there.
that was a middle finger.
Yeah, I think that was Joss Whedon openly ripping on Zack Snyder
Yeah.
in a Zack Snyder film as he's grieving over his dead dog. Like, fuck you, Joss.
I enjoyed that. But I mean, so we've had that. We've had the Justice League now, the
Yeah.
big collaboration film.
But it wasn't the big bad guy that set it all
No.
up.
But where do you go from here? We're supposedly going back to this solo Batman film if Affleck's got the stomach to make it anymore.
Wonder Woman 2.
I assume somewhere down the line there'll be a Wonder Woman 2.
Joss Whedon is in production for Batgirl. It's starting after he's
Yeah.
done with this, but again, I can safely see that falling through for whatever
I
reason.
wouldn't be surprised. And we got, what, Solo Aquaman? Solo Flash?
Solo Cyborg?
They've got a hell of a job maintaining interest in this.
See, this is the thing. If you were gonna lead up to another Justice League type film, I wouldn't now. I would lead up to a Trinity film. Because that DC's Trinity, Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, there is enough there between those three characters that it's taken 3 films now to set up.
Yeah.
Now they can start building towards these little relationship quips because it's hinted at that Wonder Woman and Batman have this slight infatuation for each other now.
Yes.
Which I get because I think it was done in the cartoons years
more
ago.
than likely.
Why not? Fuck it. It makes more sense than Superman and Wonder Woman getting together because that just seems horribly forced.
Well, yeah, and where does that leave Lois Lane?
Exactly. Kicked to the curb, along with her career.
Just like she was in this fucking film.
Yeah, but that's all she needed to be in this film was a cameo,
Yeah.
and it would have had the impact that you needed.
Well, if we talk about Wonder Woman being the strong female character, Lois Lane is the complete polar opposite of that. Batman Superman is, she is A, damsel in distress, B, just someone to be there when something needs explaining.
Yeah.
When someone needs to explain why this is happening, just stick Lois Lane there to ask the question.
Yep. And then in this film, she's smelling dead bodies,
Smelling dead bodies.
and that's it.
Sniffing corpses.
Yep.
Lois
Lois Lane, corpse sniffer.
Corpse sniffer.
Well done, Amy Adams. You've done so well with your career. Now you're sniffing corpses.
Yeah.
Right. Let's end on some positives then. What did you like about this film?
What did I like about this film? I did enjoy the Superman resurrection scene. You know, it was silly, it was over the top, it was schlock, but I don't know, particularly the slow-mo flash scene, I really enjoyed.
I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed Superman coming back to clean health at the end. It felt like Superman should. It felt heroic. It felt like he was relishing being heroic, unlike the scene in Batman v Superman where he's literally physically sagging at having to save these people from...
I've saved the rocket
floods.
ship and it makes me sad.
Yeah. So, you know, I enjoyed him, but it felt like a slight, pardon the pun, resurrection of the Superman character.
It's a retcon.
Basically.
They
Yeah,
killed him after retcon him, essentially.
essentially. They've rehabbed Superman.
Okay.
So that was okay. Wonder Woman was fine. You know, she... I'd say not enough to do, but I'm glad they didn't completely ruin the character as they could have done. But beyond that, I'm struggling to find a great deal of positive to take away from this.
I mean, I'd agree with both of those. Like you say, I mean, the Superman coming back and being retconned into a more Superman-esque. Like, at one stage, he just like, the Flash is, like, saving the Russian family, the mystery Russian family, and he's pushing them, and he's feeling really proud of himself, and then he just tilts his head, and Superman's lifted an entire building worth of
that was
people.
good.
And it didn't have to say anything, he just flew past, and I thought, that's good.
Yeah.
That's the subtle humour that if you're going to put into this situation.
Yes.
Brilliant. Like I say, they didn't ruin Wonder Woman as a character. I thought they shortchanged the fucking Amazons horribly.
Yes.
I thought to be honest, I did not like Aquaman's character, but I thought the introduction to like Atlantis and stuff it wasn't shit. Like, I could understand. I was like, this would make for a fun film because it's underwater. It's different. And I like that aspect of it. But the problem is, they'll get him on fucking... The problem is, I don't think Aquaman's an interesting enough character to do it. But the setting and how, like, this fight was slightly slow motion because they were in water, but it wasn't Zack Snyder slow motion. It was, like, it was water resistant slow. Like, I enjoyed that. I like the idea that it was almost like zero gravity fight because they're underwater and the people flying around. I thought that would make a good set piece for if they went to it furthermore.
Yeah, see, that did nothing for me, the Aquaman stuff.
See, Aquaman himself, no. The concept of this world that he lives in and the interaction with that world, I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but I liked the idea of where it could go.
Potentially. Like
Yeah.
say, when we say they visited Atlantis, they visited a small little room.
Yeah.
We didn't see anything of this supposed lost city.
No, we didn't see
or
a
the
kingdom
scale of it
no.
or where he actually comes from.
Like you say, in that I thought Amber Heard didn't do too badly because I've never heard of it. I thought she was a model, Amber Heard.
I think she might well be.
I don't know, but she actually delivered her the few lines that she had.
She was competent.
Yeah, she seemed more grounded in kind of that reality, that universe's reality, and the seriousness of the situation than the dude bro that she was speaking to.
Yes.
That tried to coin the catchphrase out of what was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a
He
catchphrase.
kept saying shit as well, which felt really, really out of place.
Yeah, he was like sweary dude, bro. He was like playing beer pong with Bruce Wayne afterwards. I guarantee. So I enjoyed. Yeah, I wouldn't say I enjoyed that. I have hope for that. I think the Jim Gordon cameo I enjoyed because J.K. Simmons, from that the small moment, he was good in that. Let's say Superman's return, as you say, that was fun.
We're clutching at straws here.
Yeah, like you said, it
I mean,
wasn't.
even Alfred, who I quite enjoyed in the Batman Superman, pissed me off in this.
It's because they tried to double down on. Well, no, he didn't even have any smarmy comebacks, did he? Like, that was the thing with Alfred in Batman Superman. He was smarmy.
Yeah, he was very much a leveller to Bruce Wayne and kept him in his place. In this, he just seemed to play along and just be another sort of obnoxious douchebag.
And they were in a weird plane of metal. Like, I know planes are metal, but you need to see the interior of that shot to fit.
Yeah,
I thought they were back in the cave at one point, and then I was like,
It was very
they're on a
confusing.
plane. I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was confusing.
So yeah, I mean, overall then, on a scale of, should we say 1 to 10?
1 to 10.
5 being a solid meh, or 1 and done at 6 or 7.
See, I can't. I mean, a 6 or something would almost feel like a recommendation, and I wouldn't recommend this. I'd probably go 4. Below average. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe pushing on to a 5 or
Yeah, I would go 4.5, 5. That would have been mine.
thereabouts. I mean, it wasn't as bad. It didn't.
Okay, here's a more accurate way of saying it then. Where does it rate on the scale of the other DC Warner Brothers films then?
Well, I
because
think by default it comes second.
just
But
because the other ones are so bad.
yeah, I mean, but it's a small sample size. Let's be honest. When you compare it to the Marvel world, we've only got 4 films in this universe.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we differ on this. Man of Steel for me worse than Batman Superman. I know you have it the other way around.
Yeah.
They're much of a muchness. They're both god awful films.
Then Suicide Squad.
Oh shit! I forgot about Suicide Squad. So
does everyone.
yeah.
So
I mean,
that's
so
just
forgettable and
above.
generic.
I say that's
That
above
can go
those
in a-
two.
That can
but
go
not
in
very
an
high.
anonymous
Yeah.
third.
And then this, and then Wonder Woman. At the
Yeah,
top.
but Wonder Woman I enjoyed until that terrible
Final.
last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas this I didn't enjoy, but yeah,
Yeah, it was almost the reverse, because like you say, when Superman turns up and actually is Superman, and starts ground pounding that guy, and he makes the almost like that final 20 minutes all of a sudden is the best bit of that film.
yeah, that was bizarre. Like normally, like I said earlier, I dread the last 20 minutes. Whereas with this, it actually
Apart from that Russian family, it made no.
yeah, it didn't feel quite as overblown and stupid the last 20 minutes because they were just fighting this one guy. It wasn't big explosions and lasers and all this sort of thing.
It still was the end of the world device.
Oh yeah,
though.
it was still your apocalypse typical.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But even the Marvel films stray into that territory far too much, where it's just an incomprehensible explosion mess.
Well, that's why I like Ant-Man. Like you say, you like Ant-Man because the
and I know
stakes
you
are a
haven't
lot
seen it yet, but
fucking lower.
Spider-Man feels like it's a bit of a lower stakes. It's just a friendly neighbourhood superhero fighting a villain who's a little bit out of his depth as well.
Yeah.
A sort of fairly
They'll need to get
everyday
into
normal
that.
baddie.
Alright, so overall,
don't go and watch this. Go and watch Spider-Man.
I would say wait for this to come out on the free movie channels.
Yeah.
Don't pay for it, even like
Don't
a
buy
box office
DVD,
HBO.
don't buy box
you know.
office.
No, just wait for it to come out because it's not worth losing your shit over.
No.
Speaking of losing your shit, Last Jedi's the next one.
Yeah, on the horizon. We'll be doing a podcast for that. Both optimistic.
I am. I'm fucking stoked for this.
I'm looking forward to it. I like the trailer. I've been very careful not to read too much speculation.
No, I've avoided it.
That stuff. I'm sure we both have our own theories.
We weren't too far off with our theories on the last. I mean, we did one. What, before The Force Awakens came out?
Yeah.
I called female Jedi. I called Rey. That was my big one. I was happy
We'll
about
have
that.
to see how that plays out. But yeah, optimistic for that. I'm doing a double header.
That's called a spit roast.
I'm gay for Star Wars.
You take that, Yoda cock.
Oh yeah, I'll take the double-ended Darth Maul. Force Awakens at 9 o'clock into the midnight showing. You're seeing it the following morning.
And then we'll probably watch it again a few days later before we reconvene
before we podcast it. And then I suspect after that we'll be looking at
Christmas.
an end-of-year review.
Christmas special.
We'll do a Christmas
We'll
special.
do a
looking
Christmas.
back.
We've lost the Ghostbusters episode.
So
we're gonna. Should we rewatch it? Should we sit down, both of us, and rewatch?
I think we should, shouldn't we?
Oh fuck! Right. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna do that. Me and Pete, sometime before Christmas, will sit down, watch the Ghostbusters reboot, hang ourselves, and maybe Avril will cut us down enough to
Much
do
like Superman, she will find our
Yeah.
cubes and
Oh, God, fuck.
resurrect us to
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah. So the festive one will be about Paul Feig's fuckery.
Yeah. So, Last Jedi, Ghostbusters retrospective, and then
/ end of year.
January we'll do an end of year 2017 review. And just on that subject, we're very down on 2016, terrible year for film.
Terrible year, full fucking stop.
Better this year, film-wise, would you say?
Yes. Yeah, off the top of my head, I can think of a few that I've enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, I've still seen some terrible films, but I can't tell if it's just the fact that I've got better at picking and choosing now. I'm sure in years gone by, I wouldn't have gone to see Get Out or The Founder, and instead I would have gone to see Transformers. And be
I've
looking at this
avoided
as
that one. I've learned my lesson. It took me 4 to do it, but I've learned my lesson by the 5th.
Yeah, so I don't
We should
know if-
watch that as well at some point.
That can be fucking next Christmas.
Actually, if anybody is actually still listening to this at any point, feel free, because this probably is going on YouTube rather than anywhere else, leave in the comment section below,
Or Facebook or
or
something.
Facebook or whatever. Give us a suggestion for some films to watch, no matter how good or how fucking awful they are, if you want to hear us.
Review this shit.
Yeah, because it's not always going to be negative. I mean, it's just that Justice League was a film. But it wasn't Batman versus Superman, Man of Steel levels of fuck you.
Yeah, it wasn't offensive.
Yeah, on the scale of things, Ghostbusters reboot, just for full disclosure, is right down the fucking bottom of my list of films that I've ever watched. It is the Antichrist to me.
Yeah.
So watching this again, I'll have a sick bag near me because I will rage vomit probably.
So, Merry Christmas.
Ho fuckity ho. Until the next Last Jedi podcast.
May the Force be with you.
Yeah, and up and away and whatever Superman says. What's the catchphrase?
Do you bleed?
2 guys, 1 sofa.